Hello everyone, it is time for a celebrity makeup. I have not done a celebrity makeup for years, or a copy of a celebrity makeup for years. Today's makeup I'm going to do is Taylor Swift from the VMAs. A few people have asked for it. It's not really a very difficult makeup to achieve, it's just quite fiddly. So I hope you enjoy, get a cup of tea, hope you enjoy, and let's get started. The makeup was done by McGrath, so I'm going to use a couple of McGrath products that I happen to have. The rest I'm going to just use what I think it would be. I will try to use products that I use quite a lot because I don't want people to go out and buy products unnecessarily. So I'm going to start off, I've already moisturised my skin, I'm going to start off with the McGrath Skin Fetish Foundation. This is a beautiful foundation. This is in the colour 9. It's quite a watery foundation. I'm going to use a Real Technique setting brush to pop this on. It's quite a watery foundation, but I really like that because it adapts to the skin to make it look like skin, and I'm all about that. If you get a close-up picture of Taylor Swift from the VMAs and zoom in, she has quite a lot of base on. I'm not going to put that much on, but that's quite often the case. If someone's going to an event and they're gonna be snapped by paps and they're got to keep their makeup on all day, they will go a little bit heavier. Makeup stays pretty well on my skin, so I don't need to go too heavy with it. Obviously, you know your own skin, so go with what you think lasts all day. I'm taking this over my eyes as well, because I don't find that my eyes crease because I don't have oily lids. So I can pop the foundation all over and it just gives me another layer to my lids. And you can see this is a really beautiful foundation. I'm going to move straight onto the eyes and then we'll come back and touch up the skin later. I like the foundation to work into the skin, do its thing, disappear where it needs to disappear, and then I can correct it. If I do too much now, then I'm not giving it a chance to settle. So I'm going to move on to the eyes first. I have got McGrath Skin Fetish Sublime Concealer as well in the colour L7. And this is quite a light concealer for me, but I just want to pop that in here. And I might take a little bit underneath as well, because I'm very deep set there, so that will hopefully project that forward a little bit. Then use a brush or your fingers to blend that. I'm using a Deluxe crease brush and just work that in so it hopefully disappears into the skin and gives me a little bit more base for my makeup to go on top of. Next I'm going to powder my eyelids into place, and I'm going to take my MAC Studio Fix Powder Foundation. I love this, and if I don't need to use an eyeshadow base, then I'll go for this. And I'm just going to take that all over the base, and I will use it on my chin later, and I'll use it in any areas that I need to powder down. I like that it's a foundation powder, just gives me a little bit more coverage. So that's just setting those eyes into place, and that concealer that I put on, making sure that that's sealed. I don't have the palette that Pat used on Taylor's eyes, but there wasn't many colours, so I'm going to take my Sleek palette in Leveled Up and I'm going to work with this and use a few colours mixed together to make the colour that I want. So firstly, I'm going to go in with the lightest colour and this one here that's got a bit of shimmer together. I'm going to mix them two together so it gives my eyelids a little bit of a shimmery finish. And I'm using a My Kit Co Fluff and Buff brush in large. Next up, I am going to go in with this one, which is slightly pinky tone, still with the silvery tone, and maybe a bit of this, and just pop it in the very corner of my eye. So I'm just mixing colours to get the desired payoff that I want. It looked like she had a pinky tone just in the corner of the eyes, but it might have been that the sequins that they stuck on were slightly pinker, but I'm going to use it with an eyeshadow and then keep the same colour over the top. It's not even really noticeable that there's a pink there, but attention to detail. I'm also going to run that and the slightly golder tone just under the eye a little bit here. Whilst I've got the palette, I'm going to go in with a slightly darker tone just to go through the socket really softly. I can't see Taylor's sockets too much, but she would normally have a little bit of colour through here. So I'm going to put it through really softly, so it doesn't really show too much, but it adds a bit of definition. Next up, liner. I don't have the McGrath liner, but I do have this Rare Beauty one, which is Selena Gomez's brand, and I love it. It's got such a beautiful brush. It's quite thick. So we will take that and give ourselves a lovely long flick like Taylor. I'm going to get my magnifying mirror to do this, because I'm blind as a bat. Right, let me hope that I still can look at you while I'm doing this. Maybe I should hold a compact. Can you see? So, I'm going to start in the middle, using my baby finger to rest and guide, and just pull across. Yeah. Pull across. Don't go too heavy or too wide with this, because we can always add to it, but it's hard to take away. Once you get to the edges, it's not hard to take away at all. It's just when you're in this middle bit of the eye and you've already done all that work, if you mess up, that makes it a bit more difficult. Once you get to the corner, I'm just going to pull it to about there, and as it starts to drag and it's pulling my eye a little bit, I'm going to switch it round and I'm going to go in at that angle. So I'm pulling it back because it's then not dragging my eye. That makes sense. Leave it there. Do the other one. We can come back to it. Now my eyes are such different shapes, it's hard to get them exact, but this one will be completely different eyeliner that I put on to this one, but hopefully they will look the same at the end, because my eyes, this one is far rounder and this one's slightly longer. So quite often you have to do your eyes open with the second one so you can kind of see where it is, see where to put it. Right, now we need to drag it out a bit further. Let's see how far. Oh, quite far. Right, we have got the rough shape. I'm going to do the other side, and then I'm going to go in and thicken it up a tiny bit. One thing I need to do, which I haven't done, and it's kind of a crucial bit, is I need to tightline. So I'm going to take this Nars High Pigment Liner. This is so brilliant, this liner, it's staying put, and this is in black. I'm just going to pop that in the top waterline. Annoyingly, my eyes always water here when I put liner on, you know, top lid liner, always, so I have to keep it away from that corner area. I'm just going to dab it away, allow it to dry, and then I can put it on again. Just always does it. It's so annoying. I think it's just because I'm older and my eyes are a bit more crepey in that inner corner. But as you put the liner on, it kind of just spreads, and I'm like, oh, that's really gutting. But there's absolutely no point in me keep fiddling with it. I just have to take it away, leave it, and then reapply it in a minute. And I might reapply it with a powder, because then it will stay put a bit better and won't affect my eyes as much. We're going to move on to sequins, and then we'll do lashes. I couldn't find the sequins to buy individually that Pat used on Taylor, so I bought these face gem ones, and I will deconstruct them to put them on. So this is the boring fiddly bit. It's up to you how you do it. If you put the sequin, dip it into the lash glue, or if you put the lash glue on your eye first. I'm going to try with the lash glue on my eye where I want to put it. So I want to put one there. So I'm going to pop a little dab of lash glue there. This is the Huda Beauty lash glue. I might swap for the duo. I'm not sure yet. I'm going to take my first sequin. This is easier to do on someone else, and just place it in place. These might be a little bit big. They will do. We will work with it. Next. I think maybe 3 more. Sequins are all done. Mascara, I'm going to put some Mercier Volume Caviar. Next up, lashes. I have got these Eylure London Fluttery Light Lashes. I don't think they're going to be enough, but I'm going to put them on and then we can always add another pair. I'm going to go back to skin, then come back to my eyes. I'm going to get my trusty Chanel cream bronzer and give myself a little bit of colour. Warm up that skin just slightly. A little bit in my jawbone. I'm going to take a little bit of MAC Hush Cream Colour Base Highlighter just to give me a lovely shimmer through the cheekbones with my finger. A little bit of MAC Warm Soul blush on the apples but scooping upwards. And then lips, Pat McGrath Elson 4. This is the colour that they said that Taylor had, but actually Taylor's looks a little bit more orangey than this. That's often the case. The colour that they say it is isn't the colour that it is, and I don't think that's the colour it is. No, I'm not having that. It's not. Let's try this MAC one in Feels So Good. I think that might be too blue as well. It's not as blue. Just going to take a Huda Beauty precision brush just to make sure that's all sharp, because it's not at the moment. So Taylor's lip doesn't really curve, it goes quite straight up. I'm just going to brush my brows through in case there's any product, but not do anything to the brows. Take a black eyeshadow on an angle brush and mimic with eyeshadow that bit that my eye doesn't like. Lastly, take my powder that I used earlier on a brush. You can use the pad that comes underneath if you wish. It will give you slightly more coverage. And just powder down any areas that I want to be a little bit flatter. Oh, I haven't put 3 little diamonds in there. Let me do that. That's silly. And there you have the finished Taylor Swift VMA look on someone 10 years older than Taylor, but still, you get the idea. Hope you've enjoyed it, guys. See you soon. And if you would love to or like to, please subscribe.